Welcome back to Breakfast. It's 7:28. Now, the annual festival of San Fermin continues with the first running of the bulls in Spain.
Well, this sees spectators try to keep ahead of the bulls, and they're let loose. You've seen this, these pictures that they run down a street, and I don't know what the hell people are doing, trying to get out of the way and avoid those horns and all that sort of thing. But we're asking today if this tradition is worth keeping, or is it just too dangerous, too inhumane, really bad for the animals and bad. I wouldn't want to run down the street with a bull chasing me.
I don't really know what would compel you, but anyway, hopefully we can get a bit more information from former Spanish expat Sam Day and spokesperson for Animal Rising, Rose Patterson. Morning to you both. Sam, let's start with you. You used to live in Spain, didn't you? So why would people even want to do this in the first place? It's so dangerous, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, first of all, guys. I did live in Spain for 4 years. I walked the streets in Pamplona during San Fermin. I've been to Plaza del Toro, the sort of main bullfighting event in Madrid, and it's such a unique atmosphere. This is what people are attracted to. It's a spectacle like no other, and whether you're a thrill seeker or there just to watch what goes on, I mean, it attracts thousands from all around the globe for these sort of unique traditions within Spain.
Were you comfortable with it, with what you saw in terms of the animals and the people participating as well?
I think context matters, right? These are animals that are bred for ferocity. They are sort of bred across, pasteurized land in parts of the Iberian Peninsula, and they live better than, lives that are better than most sort of cattle farmers, cattle ranchers across the UK or the US, for example. And you see the care that these farmers possess towards this animal, and through to the actual atmosphere of these events. It's artistry and it's steeped in deep cultural tradition within the Spanish people. They're a very proud and passionate people. I think there's a genuine misconception about the treatment of these animals. And when you're at these events, the crowd backs and is so supportive of the efforts of both the toreros or the matadors and the actual bulls. They're celebrated, not sort of revered.
I see that as a spectacle. This must be awesome, taking over your senses, the noise, the ferocity of it, whatever. That doesn't make it right. And, I watch that and I see, first of all, cruelty to the animals, and anybody getting in the way. You always think, what are they doing that for? What is all that about?
Yeah, I think, look, again, this is
no, sorry, that was for Rose. That was for Rose.
Well, hi, thanks for having me on the show, by the way. I totally agree with you, Eamonn. These bulls are deliberately stressed, confused. They're running down these narrow streets with thousands of people screaming and shouting at them. And of course, they're being led to this bull ring as well. So most of the running of the bull events in Spain end in a bullfight as well, where the animals are basically stabbed to death. And I'm sorry, I don't know how you can say that there is any care for these animals, no matter how good their lives are before this event. This is clearly cruelty to animals. This is torture. Even during the running of the bulls, people are attacking the bulls, sometimes even attaching flares to their horns. There is nothing kind about this. And I think we can't be using tradition or culture as an excuse to be doing these things to animals anymore. Since these events started many years ago, we've learned so much more about animals. We know that they can feel pain, they suffer, and we have alternatives to this. And we've seen the end of dogfighting. We're seeing increased support for the end of bullfighting and the running of bulls in Spain. And so, I think we're going to see an end to this in the near future.
So, Dan or Sam, when you look at these pictures again, did you enjoy watching that?
I think it's beyond that, right? It's the entire event till even afterwards, what they do with the meat. They're so respectful of it, but the actual artistry, the industry that kind of comes into it, it's it can be a tough watch at the end. But I think with the entire event put in context, it's a genuine spectacle, and I enjoyed the event, from going into speaking to people, to the locals that clearly are steeped into this tradition. And I think before we can sit around and suggest what another culture should do, that's for them to decide. And in certain parts of Spain, specifically Catalonia, they've banned that. But in certain other regions, whether it be Andalusia or Pamplona in general, they rely on this. This is part of their heritage and their economy and industry, and it's an event that brings in 2 billion annually to the Spanish economy with 200,000 jobs. It means something important to them.
Okay, Sam and Rose, we're out of time with you this morning, but thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, there you go. I'm sure it is an incredible spectacle, and there'd be some like adrenaline pumping attitude to it. But it's just not right. You can't. I just think in this day and age, it just looks prehistoric. Really.
It does, yeah.
And you just can't. 7,000 animals are killed through these running spectacles and festivals around the country. And well, that's just my view, but is it time to say adios to all of that? Let us know your view, have your say.
I mean, even if they're not killed, it must be so distressing to the bulls, and you can see them falling in the streets and things. It's just not very nice.
But could you imagine running in front of one of the bulls?
Well, I don't know what would compel you. I think that's silly. Really stupid.